Get busy. Do it now. DawahPartners.com. The Quran in English translation. Yeah. And you website afreequran.com. We paid the shipping, we paid for the book, and everybody can read and enjoy the translation of the Quran. Yeah. And by the way, it's 2 columns on every page, which means it's easier to read because you don't get lost when you come back to the next line. Anyway, if anyone would like to join the Quran in English translation. Yeah. And you can order that on our website, afreequran.com. We paid the shipping, we paid for the book, and everybody can read and enjoy the translation of the Quran. Yeah. And by the way, it's 2 columns on every page, which means it's easier to read because you don't get lost when you come back to the next line. Anyway, if anyone would like to join us as Dawah Partners, DawahPartners.com, and then you can donate for each and every one of these that we give out. By the way, we have an offer right now of 10,000 of these for only $1. So every dollar you can donate, do it, and then you'll get the rewards of all the people who enjoy the Qurans that we send out. So if you can do 50, that will be $50, 50 Qurans. 100, imagine putting the Quran's translation into 100 different homes and 100 different people coming to Islam. Maybe. It's up to Allah. But this is our offer, and get busy. Do it now. DawahPartners.com. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Huwa alladhi ja'alna muslimin. We are coming to you almost live all the way from our studios in Southern California. And we say almost live because there is a 30-second delay, plus or minus. And so that explains why you can see us right now, but it's not right now. It's 30 seconds ago. Anyway, so we do have a guest tonight on our live show. And the guest is none other than all the way from Tampa, Florida. Here's Dr. Ado.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Did that remind you of the introduction to the Johnny Carson show a long time ago?
Yes, pretty much so. It carried on. Mashallah.
Well, so, Doctor, tell me what's going on in your neighborhood. Is there anything planned for tomorrow or the next day? What about the 9th day or the 10th?
Sure. But today, just to remind everyone, for those watching, listening, today's day 8 of the Hajj. It is called the day of Tarwiyah. It's the day you basically, for the pilgrims, to tank up on water from Mecca because they're going to be heading to Mina. And that's basically getting ready. And they're going to pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, the 4 prayers from noon, afternoon, sunset, and late at night, and also the Fajr of the day of Arafah. And now we're in the eve of day of Arafah. in the United States with the timing. They're ahead of us, 7 hours. So just to give you the rituals of that, the Yom Tarwiyah is the day they tank up on water because they're taking it from Mecca to Mina. Is basically there's not much, water there. This from the old days. Obviously now there's plenty of water and bottles and so on. So, but that's where they stay overnight.
I was going to ask you why were they getting water?
Traditionally, because they're getting ready for the days that they're going to be in Mina, where there's not much water. This is in the old days, and they're going to be in heat, and they're basically to avoid dehydration and getting sick when there's not much water, and to get ready for the day of Arafah, because they're going to be standing on the Mount of Mercy, Jabal al-Rahma, and then make the dua all day from there. That will be tomorrow, folks. And plan on fasting the day. I think we mentioned that a few times. It is such an important day. It is the most sacred day on the Islamic calendar of the whole entire year. The day that
we need clarification about that, because we have in the Quran that's the Laylatul Qadr is the biggest thing. What about that?
Very good. So Laylatul Qadr is a nighttime.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's right. Layl means night. Yawm means day. Yawm Qiyamah.
Yeah. So this is Yawm Arafah, the day of Arafah. It's a daytime. That there is no day that the sun has risen on better than the day of Arafah. Ever. The best day ever the sun has risen is the day of Arafah. And everyone should know that is the most honored day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brags about to his servants and standing and those who have dehydrated, distress, and they have the dust on their clothes and face, and all crying out for forgiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah would say to his angels, look, he's so proud of all his servants that come all the way to Mecca, to the Mount of Mercy, and to make dua. And you know what? He said, Ushhidukum, and he's gonna make those angels being witnesses. Inni ghafartu lahum. I forgive them all. They basically have this special sale that have you guys are let free from hellfire. You guys are set home free, and of course
you can't leave that entrepreneurship, can you? You said special sale. Allah does not charge us anything.
But it's multiplied immensely, and even the good deed is multiplied up to 700 and more. So, and we mentioned before also that this day of Arafah, Allah honors it, and it will be the equivalent of basically wiping sins, the minor sins, the unintentional sins, for 2 years, 1 year before, and 1 year after. So it'll be like 2022 and 2024. Minor sins, unintentional sins will be basically wiped out, and it's a great honor. It's a great opportunity to reflect. And yes, the door is open for those who are out there in Mecca performing Hajj, and us out here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity. We pray to make it there again and again, and to cry and on the Mount of Rahmah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of Arafah, and have the biggest gathering in the globe. From people from all walks of earth, on more than 130 countries and languages. They all unite there.
You said something about unintentional sins. If you didn't mean to do it, then it shouldn't count anyway, right?
Very good. So if somebody goes out to murder somebody, or out to do adultery, or the major sins that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have specifically mentioned, those are the major sins. They're not going to be in the category wiped out by the day of Arafah. So this is why I have to be clarified, absolutely. But we make sins every day, small ones, unintentional. Maybe you say something or do something that's unintentionally, bother somebody or hurt someone, or whatever it is. It's minor and it's not intentional. So those are basically the ones who are going to be wiped out by fasting the day of Arafah for the year before and year after. So it's a great opportunity to reflect and ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. And then for those also listening and watching, you got to plan tomorrow, folks. You got to plan on your day tomorrow. Maybe you take a half a day, work and start early from the Fajr time of the day of Arafah. This is the most honored day. This is the best day that the sun has ever raised on in life, and peaks on the most on the holiest day on the Muslim calendar, the day of Arafah. And then you could after Fajr just finish whatever you have to do, and then be ready for Salat al-Dhuhr to do in congregation, and then start the dua after Salat al-Dhuhr, and it's open for those 6.5 hours, like we mentioned yesterday, till Maghrib time, which is about 8:36 here locally. I don't know, maybe close to that time in LA, in your neck of the wood for Maghrib, but that's when basically the door is open for all the dua, for all the prayers to be answered.
About 8 o'clock is Maghrib. Well, a little bit after 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
is it there in Florida?
8:37, 8:38. That's the Maghrib time, the sunset time. And that at that moment in time, when you make Salat al-Maghrib at that point in time, then you will be successfully completed the day of Arafah. For those who are out there, they'll be finishing the dua on the Mount of Mercy. And for those who are, not performing Hajj, they will be basically fasting, breaking their fast, and then hopefully all their dua, all their prayers will be answered. From the previous hours specifically.
Okay, let's talk about something you sent me today. I
Yes.
think that's a very big thing. What do you think about what happened in Mecca? It's the people that can't see.
I think today, this post, I think it went viral. They're basically one of the people who basically volunteered to help out to bring some joy to our brothers and brothers who are blind, and donate and sponsor their Hajj trip all the way to Saudi Arabia. There you have about almost 18, maybe 14 people who are Hajj, pilgrims who are blind, and they are holding on to each other through the right arm and to the person in front of them, and the right arm, and then they are, in the group, they are performing the duties of Hajj, and they're starting first in kind of gathering together, and they're walking and with the takbir, and then obviously in the front there's someone who's leading them who can see, and in the back there's also one brother who's protecting their from the back, as well, who's also can see. But everybody else is going through, putting the right hand on the shoulder of the brother in front of them, and they're all crying. Now, if you see the video, I don't know if you can play it or not, but it's very, very touching.
We're playing it.
Okay, go ahead. That's self-explanatory.
Well, you can narrate it because we don't have any audio.
Yes, and then that you will see first walking in the street, making the niyyah, and you see labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, inna al-hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk. And then of course the leader says, and then everybody follows up with the chant. And then as soon as they have the joy, and they know now from the leader, they're in the haram. They are inside the haram.
They're on the way to the haram right now.
Yes, they start weeping so loudly, and they start crying so loudly that they actually made it over there. And then they start the tawaf, and then he's reminding them that this is a maqam Ibrahim, and maqam Ismail. That when they start the Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and they turn and facing Kaaba, and he explained to them, and they do. Of course, they cannot see but they use Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and as they turn toward the way, and then they make their 7 rounds of the tawaf around the Kaaba, and they're all crying so loud that they actually made it to.
There's the audio.
بتصادف نية اشتكك هذا كواي دورة خوشي بسم أسمان ودعوتي كلون
سلام سلام كمسك الختام عليكم محيبنا يا كرام ومن بكم أنسنا في الظلام ونور لنا بين هذا الأمان سكنت لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك اللهم لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك
يا ربي خواي دورة سلامتك سواس بو خواي ديوان داري ما على فيك
Because they could fall because we can't see.
Now they are inside of the Haram, very close to Kaaba, and they're being told what to do. They have a leader who is taking them around, and then they're putting their hands on the one in front of them so they'll be able to move along, not get lost.
والله أكبر أستغفر الله
أراك هجرتني هجرا طويلا
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, this really, really gets you, doesn't it? Oh, MashaAllah. Doctor sent it to me earlier today and I just started crying.
أراك هجرتني هجرا طويلا وما عودتني من قبل
A Kurdish brother is the one who fronted the money for them to go. May Allah reward him. They're all ready to pray now.
فكيف تغيرت تلك السجايا
They're doing their individual salat or prayer because they have just completed their tawaf around the Kaaba, the 7 ambulations.
كدعوتي مع لكي كردين هزاران جار حمد السباس
فكيف أطيق من روح فكاك
MashaAllah, look at them going up the escalator. I didn't see that. ما شاء الله.
ولكن دهاك من المنية ما دهاك يعز
خشب اسكنوا لا استاجر خشب اسكنوا خشب اسكنوا خشب اسكنوا
Oh. Now they're going between the two mountains, Safa and Marwa, but it's all enclosed now.
قلبي لا تزول حتى أبشر بالقبول أحزان قلبي لا تزول حتى أبشر بالقبول وأرى كتابي باليمين وتقول
أنت أعز
وأرى كتابي باليمين
ربي
وتقول عيني بالرسول أحزان قلبي لا تزول.
This represents the running in that place where the green lights are above to let you know that is the place where the Prophet ﷺ ran. And this is so beautiful. This Doctor, I had a loss for words. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is very, heartwarming, from someone who actually volunteered his wealth to basically make a dream come true for a few of, blind, brothers who wanted to come and to perform Hajj. For those who could not see, if for someone who lost his vision, Allah mentioned in the Quran that the hearts are, not the blindness is not the eyes, but the true blindness is in the hearts. Now, those people they have beautiful hearts, and they can see with their heart, they can feel with their heart, and they know what, for instance, they are in Mecca, they are in the Haram, they are right there next to the Kaaba, and they start crying so loud and so, hard, out of joy that they actually made it there, and they start following the leader with the chant and the moves and the rituals of what needs to be done. I believe that is like, so guys, there's no excuse, for anyone. I've seen people in their 80s and 90s, late 80s and 90s, who have, walk with the cane. Those who refuse to even be on a wheelchair, and then they want to actually simulate the jogging part that you just saw. Searching for water for baby Ismail, otherwise he will die. And Subhanallah, God was so merciful that right at his feet, the baby Ismail, Prophet Ismail, peace be upon him, there was the gushing of water that come and then became the well of Zamzam that we all drink from, the blessed water from Zamzam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made so many millions, not literally thousands, but millions of pilgrims and the people who live at both Mecca and Medina drink the water of Zamzam, and quenches their thirst and give them, beautiful feeling of purification, and it give them energy, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon, say Zamzam is like a medicine. You drink it and you make the dua of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You brought up something just now, and I really appreciate that, because we can put that on the screen, I think. Yes. It doesn't fit, but I'll make it. You mentioned about the hearts are the ones that are blind, not the eyes. And this is what that singular verse of the Quran brought a blind wrestler in Canada to Islam, and he is one of the biggest proponents for Islam that I've ever known, and he is so beautiful. He's a wonderful person, and let's see if we can put that up there and let you hear it, inshallah ta'ala. Here it is. Okay, let's see if we can make it play.
أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو آذان يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور.
And the translation, it says, so haven't they traveled through the earth and have hearts by which to reason and ears by which to hear? For indeed, it is not the eyes that are blinded, but blinded are the hearts within the breasts. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And that's very true, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, beautiful. An example with all these brothers we just saw going to the pilgrim, they could be, we see the blindness in the eye, but their hearts are not blind. They can see and feel and participate with huge emotions and feelings towards what they're doing and towards being in Mecca. And it's you gotta see this video, and you gotta let your kids see this. So when somebody tell you, Mom, Dad, I'm busy, like before they go on prayer, or I'm tired, and they going to fast a day or two. When they see these videos of people who traveled all the way from so far away to come to Mecca to make the pilgrimage, no one has an excuse. No one has an excuse. Those people who have cannot see, cannot manage their way and so on, but they with the other leading brothers in the front and the back, they have a system where they can actually support each other, and they can follow without falling, and they can jog without falling, and they can do everything else like people who have eyesight, because Allah, and this is what you feel like truly Allah is guiding. People, said, oh, okay, they can't see, but you know what? They're doing just fine. All the moves and everything and the chants and the things as if they were actually seeing with complete vision. So it's very heartwarming, and it's a very good video to share with all mankind. Just those who thank Allah, God Almighty, and have this purifying experience and a cleansing experience. And for those again, tomorrow is the day of Arafah, the most sacred day and the most important day on the Muslim calendar.
Let's go into details about that when we come back right after this little break that we have, and let everybody know about the 10,000 Qurans, because tomorrow is, well, you can do it on Eid Day, but you're going to be busy on Eid Day, okay? So tomorrow, please, everybody, take care of this one-time opportunity. Even if you have $1, join us as Dawah partners and donate to Islam.com and the Quran in English translation. Yeah. And you can order that on our website, afreequran.com. We paid the shipping, we paid for the book, and everybody can read and enjoy the translation of the Quran. Yeah. And by the way, it's 2 columns on every page, which means it's easier to read because you don't get lost when you come back to the next line. Anyway, if anyone would like to join us as Dawah partners, dawahpartners.com, and then you can donate for each and every one of these that we give out. By the way, we have an offer right now of 10,000 of these for only $1. So every dollar you can donate, do it, and then you'll get the rewards of all the people who enjoy the Qurans that we send out. So if you can do 50, that will be $50, 50 Qurans. 100, Imagine putting the Quran's translation into 100 different homes and 100 different people coming to Islam. Maybe it's up to Allah. But this is our offer, and get busy. Do it now. DawahPartners.com. book account. It says 10,000 Qurans on it today, and then each of these you can get for $1. Now we can donate those free Qurans, and that you can go to Donate to Islam, or you can join us as Dawah partner. And you can see that we have Dr. Adil there is talking to us. Women's Guide to Hajj. All right. And that's by Muhammad Ashraf. Then look at what we have now. Help for New Muslims. So, and here it is, Doctor. Whenever you go to bed, recite Ayat al-Kursi from the beginning to the end. And if you do, then Allah will appoint a guard for you who will stay with you, and no devil will be able to come near you until morning.
And then you lay on the right side on bed, because that is, by the way, the most physiologically appropriate position to sleep at night, not to sleep laying on the stomach or on the back or on the left side, only on the right side, folks. That gives a space for the heart to expand and relax, and for the lung to expand, so you improve your heart and lung functions while you're sleeping. And then most importantly, to avoid aspiration. If somebody had bad reflux, if there's something comes out, it will not be aspirated into the wrong tube going into the lung and cause aspiration pneumonia. So from a medical point of view, I've just explained to you the importance of following the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then once you do that, then Allah will appoint an angel that will protect you to the moment that Allah gives you life back. When you wake up, early in the morning or early at dawn, or in the last 1/3 of the night, depending on your sleeping habits. And the minute you wake up, you say, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. Thanks to Allah that gave us life back after we were dead, and to Him we should be returned. Because every day when you get that temporary.
We have it ready. We have it ready now to play the Ayat al-Kursi, and then we'll have a translation for it, inshallah ta'ala. So here it is. This is Ayat al-Kursi. Let's see, move it up a little bit. Okay, there you go.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
And the translation of this is really, really strong, but not strong enough to equal what it's saying in Arabic. it says, Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is no God beside him. All right, that's in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, Leviticus, and in the New Testament in Mark 12:29. The biggest commandment is to know, O Israel, the Lord our God. And this Jesus is saying our God, so he has a God to pray to. And he said, our God is one Lord. All right, so that's the beginning of it. Al-Hayyul Qayyum, that he is always living, he's ever living, and he is the sustainer of everything. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. So he doesn't need to sleep, he doesn't need to fall out like, oh, I'm tired, you know. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. To him belongs everything. Everything in the cosmos, everything's in the heavens, everything that's on the earth, everything. He owns it, okay? Man dalladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'idhnih. Who is it that Allah needs to get permission from or has a connection with that's going to interfere with except by his permission on the Day of Judgment? Nobody. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُمْ. Okay? He has full knowledge of everything before, during, after, up, down, all around. All of the knowledge of everything, every single molecule, everything, every single atom, and every component of the atom of the whole entire universe. This is the kind of knowledge that we cannot comprehend, okay? And he says, but you don't have any knowledge at all except illa bimashah, except what he has willed for you to have, and he can take it away from you. Trust me. When you get elderly, you'll find out how much you just don't know anymore. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Well, then let's see. Wasi'a kursiyuhu samawati wal ard. Oh yeah, that's the name of the ayah. Ayat al-Kursi. What does that mean? That his Kursi, his
Throne.
No, that's exactly
Sharing.
is exactly the question that one of the companions brought to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're just testing me, I know. Anyway, so he says, the questioner says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the Kursi the throne of Allah, the Arsh? And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, la, no. It is not. It is sitting in front of the throne. And then he described something amazing. He said, like a ring. You know, a ring that you have on your finger? He said, like a ring thrown into a desert. Whoa! So the Arsh, or the throne, is like the desert, and the Kursi is like a ring in the desert. If you dropped a ring out of a helicopter somewhere over a desert, and then you flew down to get some camels and then go back, would you ever be able to find that ring again? Huh? No. In fact, if you're not careful, we couldn't even find you again. That's how big deserts are and how small a real ring is. Now, a sub-narrator of that hadith is saying that this is the comparison, although now the Kursi becomes the desert, and the whole entire universe that we know becomes the ring. Whoa, that is beyond our imagination. Our universe that we don't even know how big it is nothing but a ring in front of the Kursi of Allah. And his Kursi is compared to, he's making this comparison, the Prophet ﷺ is making this comparison to the Kursi size is like a ring thrown in the desert to the Arsh or throne of Allah. And then this is the summation of the whole verse. And it says, وَلَا يَؤُولُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. And he never gets weary of taking care of all of it. Allah. And guarding it. And he is the most high, the most great. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah. Yeah. Doctor, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. That was beautiful. I don't know if you have the second video. Another distinguished pilgrim who came from South Africa and had a very unique story to share with the world. And it was very touching also to see.
Let's see if we can do
cry.
it. I'm going to see if we can do it. Go ahead and set it up for us.
Sure. Pilgrim, basically, there's many pilgrims from all over the globe as they join this biggest human conference in humanity that almost 139 different nationalities and, dozens of languages and different colors and so on and so forth. And especially now that we have new Muslims and people have come to Islam, and then they share their passion and they share their crying just for the fact that they are in Holy Land, in Mecca, and now they're observing the pilgrimage, and they try to go and walk through the Mount of Light, Jabal al-Nur. This particular brother came from South Africa and a very unique background. And wanted to share his story with the world, and he was so touching and crying.
Okay, we're ready to show it now.
Go ahead.
So I've been a priest for 15 years now, leader of the congregation, the Corinthian Church of South Africa. It's got about 100,000 followers. Until I had a dream, then I heard this voice. It says, tell your men to wear white kurtas. I said, oh, Muslim head. Then I said, it's just a dream. He came again and again. And the last time, this voice became aggressive now. Tell your men. Then I went, it was a congregation. I said, now I'm going to these people, I'm going to tell them, let them believe. Then I went there. Then I told them, you know how Allah made it easy? They just accepted. All of them. Then when the next meeting came on the next congregation, everyone was wearing it, white kurtas. And all those they accepted. They accepted. 3 months ago, I made the shahada in the church. They were supporting what I was saying. They were also saying it. Those 1,000 voices saying one, giving the shahada with me.
Ashhadu, Allah, ilaha illallah.
We were happy. Then I saw Muslim brothers coming. I said, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. I had a dream that you'll come come here. When they told me you are going to Hajj, I said, oh, me? I can't go there. I won't go there. And when the day came, they say you are leaving. I said, leaving where? You must be joking. This is not happening. It can't happen. Peace be upon him, Muhammad. When we went up here, he was alone. I will follow the footsteps. And I believe by following these footsteps, millions of my people in South Africa will follow these footsteps to see the light. This is the mountain of light. I'm the first one in my family to touch here. This soil, this blessed soil. The mountain of light.
Light.
Yes.
From the mountain started the light of Islam. That's why I brought you
Hey, I'm shaking.
here.
Hey, I'm shaking. I want to go up there.
What?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Ah, nothing is hard. When you have that heart, nothing is hard. In the name.
MashaAllah. Doctor, I'd like to bring you back out again before we go off the air.
Every
Talk
time,
about
you know.
this. Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people can obviously it's being shared widely. Again, today, and you know, again, you can't help yourself crying when you see this, you know, brother coming to Islam with so much compassion and sincerity, and crying to Allah and being grateful that Allah not only saved him, but then he have an you know, kind of an obligation to tell his congregation, and he has a huge congregation of 100,000 in South Africa, and you know, they had so much courage that they actually said Shahada inside the church. You know, that they declared that there is no God but Allah. La ilaha ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's why I say wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's how anybody, you know, and testify that Muhammad is the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with that,
I really appreciate you sharing that video with us. And I should mention that this is sponsored by Al Jazeera, the television company in Qatar, in Doha, Qatar. Qatar is the government that sponsors and takes care of a lot of the pilgrims and the evidence that the people are presented with from the Quran. They have set up museums and sets for people to visit, and you go in there and sit and or stand and just learn so much about Islam. And the best thing is not the presentation, which is very good, but the people that are presenting it, because you see Islam in them. Alhamdulillah. Well, we run out of time.
remember, tomorrow, day of Arafah, guys. Plan on fasting. Plan on doing a lot of prayers from Dhuhr, right after the Dhuhr prayer, noon, till sunset tomorrow. Very, very special time. Every second counts.
Yeah, I think you should mention to us about the, or I'll just mention it because we're getting a call from the studio. And they're saying that we need to wrap it up. So, okay, number one, if you can fast tomorrow, do it. Number two, don't cut your fingernails while you're fasting, and don't get pretend that you're in the Hajj with them, you know, so you don't cut your hair, you don't cut the fingernails, you don't do any of that. And for those of us who have been fasting ever since the beginning of this month, then you do that at all. At night or whatever, you don't do it. So everybody's going to be getting their clippers out and their hair, everything tomorrow night, inshallah.
After sunset tomorrow, you're okay.
Yeah. There
But
you
till
go.
then, you just focus on the prayer and the dua and
Okay.
remembrance of Allah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. The Quran in English translation. Yeah. And you can order that on our website, afreequran.com. We paid the shipping, we paid for the book, and everybody can read and enjoy the translation of the Quran. Yeah. And by the way, it's 2 columns on every page, which means it's easier to read because you don't get lost when you come back to